On the off chance that you're not familiar, Prototype is an open-world action game from 2009. In it, you
play as Alex Mercer, a man who wakes up in the morgue with absolutely no memory of his past life. As a trade-off, he does get some crazy superpowers. We're talking about the kind where he can absorb other living beings and take on their form.
The game got a 7.5 from IGN and sold well enough to get a sequel. In Prototype 2,
James Heller tells his family to put their trust in the government when a viral outbreak hits New York City, but returns to find his wife and daughter murdered by the zombies the sickness creates. Heller blames Alex Mercer, the anti-hero from the first game. Mercer gives Heller powers for some reason, and then Heller sets his sights on superpowered revenge.
I've never played the sequel, but from the looks of it, it's just a more refined version of the original. IGN gave the game a 7.0 and gave this wonderful description of the protagonist.
In reality, Heller is just your generic anger guy spitting curse words out left and right.
What the fuck?
It's hard to believe he ever had a family. So the weight of what he's going through is lost, and Prototype 2 becomes another action game.
My memory of the original Prototype is pretty blurry. I played it in the summer of 2009 on my cousin's PlayStation 3 and have faint memories of fighting helicopters, wall running around a plague-stricken Manhattan, and consuming random civilians to wear their skin. What I do remember feverishly well, though, is the circumstances that I played the game under. I was deathly sick with some stomach bug. Had like 2 days to play the game because my cousin wouldn't lend it to me, and Prototype 1 ended up being my pleasant little corner of the universe during my time of sickness. A New York consumed by flesh monsters and the ability to absorb other beings to take on their form. What nicer respite from reality could a 14-year-old boy ask for? It's been a while, but I still think about Prototype from time to time. It's usually when I'm meant to be doing something else. It's usually when I'm meant to be writing. I'll open up a Word file, start a new paragraph, plan my next sentence, and then I'll wonder. Am I misremembering this, or did Alex Mercer have an insane leather jacket that was also a hoodie and a dress shirt? So I Google it, obviously. Times are uncertain enough as it is. It's good to be sure of things. Sometimes I'll end it there, but sometimes I'll end up wondering, hey, what was that game about again? How silly was the sequel? And then I'll drop down a rabbit hole of flesh explosions and tank crashes and emerge 2 hours older, but much wiser on the lore of 2009's reasonably well-selling franchise, Prototype. Whatever work I was meant to be doing would remain undone, but I would take some solace in the fact that knowledge is power and that interacting with art, high or low, is an essential part of the human experience. I'd go back to my Microsoft Word file, carry on with my day, but then, a month or two later, I'd be back where I started. As if marred by the stomach illness of decade past, all my knowledge of the video game Prototype exists as a feverish memory of a 14-year-old boy. Sometimes I'll find myself wondering about the specifics of the long-forgotten franchise. I know that the answer is there. I know that deep inside I'm certain of the answer, yet I still ask the question. The protagonist of Prototype 2 pair up with a priest who's also a hacker to fight off a paramilitary occupation of New York, or am I having a seizure? I found myself in such a mood tonight. I've drifted through the Let's Plays and rewatched the reviews. I now know the answer to that hacker-priest question. I will not tell you though. That is a journey one must undertake alone. However, dear internet stranger, there is another question that I might shed some light upon. A question that has been asked in every single comment section of the videos I've consumed on my search for knowledge. The question that keeps all the Prototype heads awake at night. Will there ever be a Prototype 3? Well, dear internet stranger, I have found an article that you might find interesting, in the loosest sense of the word. Prototype 3 release date. What to expect from the developers, by Catherine Lysenko from the 26th of January 2021, broadcast to 122,774 souls. Prototype 3, a computer open-world action game. The first 2 parts have already gained success and popularity among crowds of fans that are waiting for the game's continuation. The developers are currently working on its creation, but the information about the date of Prototype 3 release remains a secret. The title seems to suggest that the article will be about a release date, but the date is secret. At first sight, the next 9 paragraphs of text might seem completely redundant, but this article has been updated for the modern age. There really has to be something here. Activision, the next owner of the rights of the game after Radical Entertainment, is interested in continuing the project. Preparatory work, as well as the process of game development of the third part, started when the first two parts were reissued. The key points of the first two editions is the following. The main hero has experienced strange situations as a result of which he discovers supernatural skills together with a series of problems he has to solve. There's a special feel to the words, as a result of which just sieves of a 5-paragraph essay. Does the student show understanding of cause and effect? Does the text meet the 500-word count minimum? It's like the article was written under duress, just like the grand majority of school essays, which, by the way, God bless English teachers, right? Could you imagine reading the same essay about the themes of 1984 22 times in a row? Here's to them.
Enough of this.
I hear you yell at your screen.
I have not come here to honor teachers' contributions to society, and I have not come here for writing analysis. I am here for speculations about the release date of Prototype 3. Deliver or be gone.
I promised, and I will deliver. Concerning the requirements for Prototype 3 2021, the only thing known is that the game will be released with a completely new engine. The development will be carried out by an anonymous studio that has already worked on Doom, GTA, Assassin's Creed, Metal Gear Solid. There you have it, the bombshell. Prototype 3 is not only being developed, but it is being made by an anonymous studio which has had a shadowy hand in a bunch of hits. Rejoice! But wait. I have brought you to this corner of the internet with good news, but as I read more of this article, I get concerned. The game that's described in the article it's not what I expected it to be. Prototype 3, news about the storyline. According to Ken Rossman's comment on the internet, it has been decided to move away from the usual narrative. Therefore, it might be concluded that developers will act more freely while creating the third part. Perhaps Prototype 3 PC will be released as a first-person shooter where the military will be placed in a jungle in order to carry out special tasks. The main thing in focus is a virus, which provides great opportunity for experiments. Besides, there is a non-official version of the storyline, according to which the main hero saves his family in New York from prosecution. However, due to circumstances, he ends up in Washington, where the development process of a secret weapon is being carried out. During the experiment, a virus comes out, which is necessary to be eliminated as soon as possible. Comment on the internet, moving away from the usual narrative, first-person shooter, jungle army man, this isn't the prototype that soothed my fever back in the days before the popular adoption of Facebook. Did James Heller's family come back to life? Did Alex Mercer have a family? At any rate, why are they being prosecuted? I brought you here promising news of Prototype 3, but all I bring is confusion. I brought you here promising news of Prototype 3, but my knowledge of Prototype 1 and Prototype 2 have been found lacking. I do not know if Alex Mercer had a family. I had to Google the name of the second guy. This is not good. This is not good at all, but something else is off. Why would any human ever ask for the maximum amount of news? Moreover, the storyline of the second part of Prototype 3 release date PS4, of which has not been disclosed yet, is not finished. Therefore, the narrative is likely to be... Why does the phrase release date PS4 randomly sneak its way into the middle of the sentence? Why am I on a gambling website? Oh god, did I bring us to a website that generates stories out of nothing for algorithm boosts? Catherine, are you real at least? I've been tricked. We've been tricked. There is no new Prototype 3 news. 15 people have read this story since I refreshed the page. Who are they? How did over 100,000 people stumble here? How many human beings actually read this article? Did anyone enjoy it? However, in all other aspects, the third part is unlikely to be out of the basic concept, the confrontation between a human with superpowers and mutants as well as other heavily armed people. One of the drawbacks in this first part is the storyline and working on details. Therefore, it is obvious that the developers will address these issues first of all. Now, the only thing left is monitoring news regarding Prototype 3 release date PC and keeping on hoping for it to be soon. Did someone get to the end of the paragraph and think, yeah, cool. Good to stay updated on Prototype 3. Happy this got updated for 2021. Is there a market for people who are self-soothing with keyword-laden babbles about video game franchises? That's not a thing, is it? This article has to be some sort of fodder for some big algorithm machine that's pushing a lever and someone is making more money. But why? This isn't a work of passion. Someone or something got paid to write this. Somewhere in some Scala cost analysis was made, and at the end of that calculation, this article popped out. Somewhere beneath our feet, there's a set of pipes that makes writing stuff purely to hit keywords profitable. There's a style of writing to catch an algorithm's attention, and it reads like a 5-paragraph essay written under duress.
Enough.
I hear you bellow at your screen.
I have come here for information about the video game Prototype 3. None of this is helpful to finding out when or even if a sequel is ever coming out.
The article is clearly meant to be read by a machine, but here's something to consider. Is the article written by a person? Chatbots are pretty nifty these days, and it would definitely be cheaper to mass produce these things. Is this a computer talking to computer that's talking to computer that's...
My finger is hovering.
I hear you scream in a crowded subway cart.
My finger is hovering over the dislike button.
It's just you, me, and a robot, and algorithms. There are no answers. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I wasted your time, but perhaps I still have something of worth to you. Earlier, I asked a question that may have started to nibble at the back of your mind. Did James Heller, grizzled, swearing protagonist of Prototype 2 who doesn't seem like a family man, team up with a hacker priest to fight the infection that killed his family? Was there a moment in our not-so-distant cultural history where thousands of teenage boys simultaneously partook in this narrative hallucination? Did we peak as a species in 2009 and are now cursed to walk the earth with only faint memories of Alex Mercer to keep our souls fed? I have traveled through the Let's Play videos. The specifics of the lore are hidden beneath a feverish curse, but of this one bit of knowledge, I am certain. Let me, like a brother, give you this obscure pearl of knowledge I retrieved from the depths of these cloudy digital waters. The answer is yes. Prototype 2 features a hacker priest and it's glorious. Real shock it didn't get a sequel.
That ass whooping ought to restore the father's faith. Father!
James, did you go to the park?
Yeah.
And did you stop them?
Oh, I stopped the hell out of them. Father, you okay?
Follow me. We have a lot to do. There are 10,000 Blackwatch troops in NYZ, and who knows what Gentech is doing in those laboratories. We need to put them down.
So you trust him?
I don't know about that, but I can tell you this, James. If Alex Mercer wants to kill every last one of those Blackwatch and Gentech putos, then I am with him.
What about God? He okay with this?
You let me handle him.